Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or SoundCloud so you can keep up with what's going on in Greensboro City government. I'm your host, Josh Johnson, and with me today for our first Talk City Greensboro in 2022 is my good friend, Rosemary Plybin.
Thank you. Welcome 2022, which feels a lot like the start of 2021, but more on that later, because actually a lot happened in 2021, and we're going to talk about some of the great things that happened in Greensboro. Yep. Where we've been, where we're headed. We're talking with Interim City Manager Chris Wilson. We always love to have him here. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Yes. Cue the applause. We're going to talk a little about 2021 and also look ahead into 22 and some of the great things coming this way.
Hey.
Good to have you.
Well, it's good to be here. I actually thought this was a casting call for Yellowstone. So I was a bit surprised.
That's all right. We got a few people watching in the wings.
You never know.
So that's right. You never know.
Right.
All right. So, Chris, we're going to talk a little bit about 2021 and some of the mentions, some of the things that some of the great things that has happened here in the city.
And there's some really big ones.
Yeah.
I mean, huge. Yeah.
So let's start with the big one that just recently went down, the Toyota announcement.
Woo! 10 years in the
huge.
making.
Yeah, I was going to say, a long time to get there. A lot of great folks working on that one. Funny thing, Randolph County and Greensboro, when we come together, all sorts of great things happen.
Right.
I can say that. I'm from Asheboro.
I mean, it's a good lesson for all of us,
No, it really is.
That we can do
regional approach, working together. Chamber really carried a heavy load on this, but there were so many great partners to get to this point. And you may recall that we were really close some years earlier, and that being really close helped get to this point. And I would say we ended up with a better opportunity because we're talking about something that's sustainable, right? A battery.
Yes.
A battery operation, same great company in Toyota, but the future is about sustainability. And this particular project, we're talking billions with a B.
With a B.
I don't get to say that much. Billions of dollars worth of investment.
Yeah, coming in, not going out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And thousands of jobs. So it's great for our area. I will just say, to even be just a tiny part of participating in that, I got a little bit emotional because I grew up in Randolph County and I was there when most of the jobs left. Most of our textile operations left, and I recall the struggle of, really just the community and trying to find that niche of where do you go from here when these things leave. Greensboro struggled with that too, but not to the extent that Randolph County did. So. Yeah. It was, I remember being in the council meeting, we had that last vote, and I got just a wee bit choked up thinking about how great that was and just how cool it was to see my hometown, even though I was born in Greensboro, my hometown sort of working with my forever love city, who adopted me, and just landing this tremendous thing. And in my mind, I could see all the people that were waiting on this moment and what it means to have this opportunity and what this will mean for that corridor and just the region in general. It's incredible. So, lots of thanks go around to the state and both counties and the city. It's in the chamber in particular. I can't say enough good things about it. It was huge, and it'll be huge for years to come, which is so awesome.
Yeah, when will we kind of start seeing some of the impact and jobs and all of that?
Yeah, I think you're still a couple of years out in terms of what has to go there, because we're talking about a massive operation, and right now we're working on that infrastructure with them and getting that ready. But the payoff is, wait just a little bit, but you're going to see for many, many years to come. Like I won't be sitting here, but you guys might be sitting here talking 10 years from now about just what a different atmosphere we have in terms of investment and the other things that it'll attract and the other jobs that'll come. Yeah. I think when you first hear an announcement like that, there's sort of the immediate boom and excitement, and you're really jazzed about it, and
Right.
then the next week you move on to something else. You can't do that here because this is a long-term. This is great for our region, and it's going to pay off in dividends. And of course, we have several other great things that happened last year in terms of economic development. We saw expansions, we saw new locations. Just what an incredible year!
It actually, it really was.
Yeah. And this year is, quite honestly, being in this position is pretty awesome because you get to see what's coming down the pike, or maybe help out a little bit. And this year's going to be great too. It'll be great. I promise.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're so ready. All right, so let's talk about some other things kind of that happened.
Okay.
I'm going to skip around on our list a
You
little
go
bit.
in
So I
any
hope that's
order
okay.
you want. Any
All right,
order
so
you want.
I'm going to talk about the Tanger Center because this was kind of the big wind out of our sails of 2020, right?
Yeah,
it was
sure.
supposed to open
Yeah.
in March of 2020. We had the ACC tournament here. I mean, NCAA tournament was coming. It was like a big punch in the gut, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't open. And we finally got to open it this year. And it did not disappoint.
No.
It lived up and exceeded all expectations.
It was huge. I don't know if anybody got to see it, but the official, grand opening was sort of after the fact, and it was so funny to be there. They actually gave out some little takeaways, and it showed the original date, which I thought was kind of cool, which was the year previous of when it was to be celebrated. But the funniest thing is you had all the great people who helped make that happen. You've got Matt Brown, you've got Walker Sanders, Kathy Manning, and of course Stephen Tanger, and they're all there with sort of a jovial spirit about where we've been. And I thought that was so cool to see because you've worked so hard to get there, and then all of a sudden the carpet's pulled out from under you. Yeah. But I noticed in their faces as they looked out, just in this grand space that is top notch, is so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
And seeing all the people there, you could just see the genuine delight in their faces. And then, of course, we had a wonderful song by Kathy Manning all about Tanger Center that I thoroughly enjoyed. But the productions that have been there thus far have been incredible in terms of turnout. And I believe, I get to hear from lots of folks about their experiences. And what I hear the most often is not only is it a great show that you're getting to see, but the facility itself is such a special experience. And then I'm hearing about the experience of just being downtown and participating in things, right? Like we're going to need more restaurants, first of all.
Yes, bring it.
Because, you may have a little bit of a wait at your favorite restaurant downtown, but
you better get those reservations in early.
Way early. So great time to get a restaurant in downtown Greensboro. There's a quick plug.
Yeah.
I will just say, hearing about that experience of, hey, we went and did this, and we went over to the Cultural Arts Center in Green Hill, and then we went and got a little dinner, and then we went over to Tanger Center. Like, that's what it's all about, right?
That's right.
Like that's the experience you want, and that's
We've
the
been wanting
quality
it.
of life.
Yeah.
So it's been incredible. I think in my mind, it's surpassed what we even thought in terms of the turnout and sort of the enjoyment of the experience. So, yeah, that was huge. And I think that's another one where you look at it and you go, this is going to be great for so many years to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it keeps coming.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing for me about the Tanger Center is, I think particularly because we were, had been apart for so long, it feels like when you go, you're a part of something.
Yes.
You're a part of, being downtown, going to the restaurants, even though it's still different, right? Things aren't the same, but you're still, you're with people, and it just feels pretty special, I think.
I think so too. I think we're so conscious of safety. We all are, and we need to be, and we need to do everything we can to get through this pandemic, but people need people.
Oh, yeah.
You absolutely need people, and experiences like that are valuable in terms of your mental and physical health.
Absolutely.
And I would agree with you. I've been so fortunate this past year to be part of things like that, and Toyota Mazda, and all the great things where people came together to be able to celebrate what is a really bright long-term future.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, we've got a lot of things that we could mention.
Sure.
One of the things that I wanted to kind of bring up was Revolution Ridge.
Yeah, people need animals too.
Yes, we need animals. We need baby hippos.
Yes, we do.
But that's not just the Revolution Ridge portion of the Science Center. I mean, there's more happening there.
See the whole
in the
Battleground
Parks
District.
Yeah. So.
Jinx.
I don't think this would be a genuine podcast with me if we didn't talk about wildlife of some sort.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah.
I always seem to go back to that.
It's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Revolution Ridge, really, let's think about it in terms of a statement, just even in the titling. And Glenn Dobrigos was very intentional in that planning. It is sort of a revolution because this is, well, first of all, it's on property that is historic and tied to the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And what is happening in that area is revolutionary.
Yes.
And what is going to happen and continue to happen is revolutionary, not just for the area, but for Greensboro. This is a tourist attraction, a top tourist attraction. So you alluded to it. We've got new animals, pygmy hippos, huge hit. People love the pygmy hippos.
I mean, how can you not?
They're, a quarter of the size, but same attitude as
Exactly.
a regular hippo. Cassowary, which is very unique to see in the middle of North Carolina, right?
In general, I mean,
yeah.
it's like it's like a dinosaur, pretty much.
It's like a velociraptor.
Yeah.
And can behave like one as well.
The okapi.
The okapi. Oh,
Yes.
So cool.
yeah. We're they're actually expanding that
I
exhibit.
know,
Well,
that's
we need more
cool.
trees. They ate all the leaves.
I know.
So
I ate the trees.
that's what they do.
Yeah.
But incredible to see, and has been more popular than I thought. The hippos were going to take center stage, and I think people love the okapi.
Yeah.
And the flamingos.
Oh, they're beautiful.
And I think that's because we're in North Carolina and we don't see
We don't have
that
'em.
very much.
Right.
But they're fun to watch because of their behavior and sort of the way they act out.
And they're loud.
They're very loud. But so you alluded to it's continuing to grow.
Yeah.
That sort of leads you into the next phase, which is Battleground Parks District, and that's the full 400 acres of the facilities that adjoin. And we are currently under construction for a zip line.
Nice.
It looks like it's almost ready.
It does. Well, don't get on it yet. But
No,
yes,
I'm not going to.
you're going to be the first, Rosemary.
Well harnessed.
We need someone to
But yeah.
test it.
I mean, I will volunteer and join her.
That could be arranged.
Yeah.
For the right price. I will just say that, Battleground Parks District is obviously very special to me because Glenn and I and Roger Bardsley, Chuck Cranfield at the time over at Military Park, this was sort of our baby, something that we worked on and got to be super creative with. And the zip line was one of those things, when you go through a design process and you start talking about costs, and it was one of those things that I would not give up on. Glenn would not give up on. It's got to be a zip line because a lot of people don't know this. One of the original configurations for Country Park had a rope swing and a zip line and a boathouse and all this good stuff. And it's a fun part of the experience, but it also gives you a perspective of what you're seeing. So right now you can go over to SkyWild and see many of the exhibits and get a perspective of the wildlife there that you wouldn't get normally. And what we hope to do is do the same thing going over that lake, going over the park, and even as you get to the zip line, there is what we're calling a skywalk right now that takes you up into the trees. So you get to see a different part of the trees and a different part of the complex that gives you an appreciation for what's there and how things interact. And I think it's going to be a huge hit. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure we're going to need more parking.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, we're working on it. We're working on it. But expect it to be an even bigger hit than it is right now. We're in the top 15, if I'm not mistaken, for tourist attractions in North Carolina right now. I think this easily puts us into that top tier. Yeah. So very excited about that. And that's just phase one. We've still got more phases to go. I'm not going to spill the beans yet. You have to have me back for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
No worries.
We can do that.
More to come.
We also had some kind of big city, like really city-specific things this year. We kind of just mention them, and you can talk a little about a new fire station opened, Fire Station number 7.
Right.
The council chambers were named in honor of Katie G. Dorsett, and a big award for Parks and Rec.
Several big awards,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact. So, I'll start with the fire station named after Chief Ray Flowers, first African-American fire chief here in Greensboro. What is so cool about that is Ray was actually able to be present for the celebration around naming this fire station. And, so often we recognize people after
They passed
on, and he got to see this in person with his family.
And that's really cool.
I think that's super cool. So if you've not seen the station, I would say it is the coolest station that we have right now in Greensboro because it is a throwback to the old school fire station. It's got a tower in it, but it looks so awesome. If you're driving by, it looks so cool. It's got a just this unique look to the drive through that area. Great fire station, great opportunity to continue to invest in infrastructure, which is important for Greensboro's growth, and this is one element of that. But in particular, just super special to be able to celebrate Chief Flowers and do that while he was able to see it. And then pivoting over, you mentioned the council chambers. Katie Dorsett loved Greensboro. I mean, obviously very influential in North Carolina, a first in so many things she did. I was present. There was a small celebration with family and elected officials who served with Katie, and I sat there so quietly, but just in awe of all the wonderful stories and the impact that she had. And in particular, obviously, it's very important to me to hear about Guilford County and Greensboro. The stories were so great, but the effort really resulted in not only great things for North Carolina, but really pioneering in inclusion and equity and making sure that there was representation for all. And what was special about this designation, people may not think about, oh, you named the chambers. That's a big deal because think about every public meeting we have in there, which is many. All the notices go out with Katie Dorsett council chambers, and so it's this repetitious. And I hope we have scouts come to our meeting or students come to our meeting. I'm hoping that will prompt them to research the name,
right?
Because they're going to keep hearing it over and over again. So that was an incredibly special time, and so thankful for everybody that helped us celebrate. I think things like that in recognition of people who gave part of themselves are so important. And you'll see a few more things like that coming up in this new year.
All right, let's talk about the new year a little bit.
Okay.
We have a new city manager coming on board.
Yes.
We have loved having you in the seat, but I know you were ready to get back to your passions. And we're really excited to welcome our new city manager from Charlotte.
Yes. Taiwo Jayoba is from Charlotte. He is an absolutely wonderful human being, so very positive. Going to be an incredible leader for Greensboro. I've spent fair amount of time with him now, and I've got to tell you, every time I leave the conversation, I feel like I just need to be a better person. He's that great in terms of his influence and his thoughts, and he wants to be here in Greensboro. This has been something on his mind for quite some time, so he wants to be here, and he wants to be part of our community. So we're very excited about that. Yes, I am a little excited to be leaving the role. I want to make sure people understand I love this community and I love the employees in this organization, but I love doing that in a certain way. I was very honored to help out for 7.5 months, and that was my intention. I just wanted to help out, and I wanted to make sure that we got it ready for that next great leader. I'm still going to be around. For some reason, people think I'm being put out in pasture. I'm not. I'm still going to be around. I'm not quite that old. I will still be helping in the manager's office. I'm looking forward to doing that in a way where I connect with our residents and our employees and roll my sleeves up and get into some of these great things that are coming up. But, yes, it's important to have Ty, as he likes to be called, coming on. I think he's going to bring so much perspective coming from Charlotte. And as we are now growing and starting to feel some of those growing pains and opportunities, he's going to be able to help us steer. And I think that's exciting. In addition to that, there's so many things that we will hear about in the coming months that are significant in terms of preparing for that growth.
Yeah.
One of the neat things we started doing this past year was capturing council meetings in such a way that you understood the investment that was occurring. Our good friend Jake Keys and I started doing calculations of all the things that were being passed. So if you really pay attention, you go on Facebook and you look at the summary, you'll see $50 million worth of infrastructure was passed tonight. You know, you go through the council meeting, you don't always appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's happening every meeting, coupled with some great announcement about somebody who chose Greensboro or chose to expand in Greensboro.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's an incredibly exciting time. You've got a lot of new things. You've got a lot of opportunities. Do we have challenges to deal with? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think we can't not be grateful for the things ahead, quite frankly. And I know that's my nature anyway, but we have a lot to look forward to.
Well, we're looking forward to having our new city manager on the show.
Yes.
So give him a heads up.
We're coming.
I'll book it. I'll book it.
We're going to be ringing his phone.
Hey, thank you for all you have done, because you have been a great leader, and we know you're going to continue to be a great leader. Just back in your role where you have led and done such a great job for such a long time. But you were the right person at the right time, and we appreciate all you've done.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? Not bad for a small town kid who really didn't have much vision until later in life. But yeah, no, I'm very proud of it, and I appreciate the support of our employees and our residents. I can't tell you how many very nice, kind things that people have said along the way. We've made some significant cultural changes with the organization to help support our employees during a tough time.
Yeah.
We've made some significant investments and continued efforts in our community to support our residents during, a very challenging time. And somewhere in the midst of that, we've discovered all these great opportunities for the future. I couldn't be more proud of that. And, if residents listening to this want to hear more about it, see more about it, I'm a big communications person. You can go on our website and you can see all the reports I sent to council every month or so. We've got a page for that, and then our communications with employees are out there.
Yep.
Lots of ways to catch up on what we're doing. Of course, you guys do a great job of producing things on GTN and on this show. I would encourage people to go check it out, because if you're feeling down, or you're feeling like, when are we going to get through this? There's so many things to be thankful for, and I think that's the better focus right now.
That's a really good point.
Even in the wake of challenge, so check it out. Just go watch a couple of our shows, and you'll see some of the things that keep me smiling and keep me positive all the time.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, and we appreciate you being on the show, and we're looking forward to you coming back. Because, you're always our favorite guest to have on here.
Oh, I bet you
We don't say that to anybody else. Never.
Everyone that's on the show today. Yes.
Well, thanks again, Chris. We appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud.
That's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN is available on Spectrum Channel 13,
AT&T UVerse Channel 99,
and North State Channel 31.
GTN also streams live on Roku and the city's website
at greensboro-nc.gov.
Take care.